Are you listening? Of course you are. You're listening to Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. We have Rotus in the studio. Good morning,
Good morning,
Rotus. How
Valentine.
you
Good morning,
feeling,
everybody. Hope
man?
everybody's hope staying dry because it's
It's raining.
it's coming down hard
Yep,
outside,
yep.
man. It
It's
is.
most likely going to still rain till 7 a.m.
Abby.
That's when this show ends. Send your messages to WhatsApp 0809 444 That's our WhatsApp number. Twitter is at Smooth981FM. The hashtag Business Express 981. You know you're streaming on YouTube so you can watch.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So look, Lagos. A few weeks ago, I had a chat with some players in the fintech space. Now, this is not Tech Friday, of course, but as a result of what some news that broke yesterday, I had to go back to this conversation. Some CEOs and founders of apps that allow you to purchase um, stocks overseas, whether it's Asia, Europe, or North America. Now, the conversation I remember the conversation due to news that dropped yesterday from Gilead Sciences. Gilead Sciences is a biotechnology company, biotechnology research firm that works on making um, medicine, drugs for H treatment drugs for HIV, I think lymphoma, arthritis, and so on. So of course there are malaria too. If you're not familiar, they've been in the news because a malaria drug that they made, these are antiviral drugs, not vaccines. Malaria drug that they made, that they produced, called remdesivir. It's been shown so far in clinical trials, it's been shown to increase the recovery time uh, with regards to COVID-19. So, essentially, I think it's on average, patients who are administered remdesivir recover in about 4 days earlier, than those who don't use it. Again, on average, could be 2 days here, could be three, could be 5 days, but that's on average. So, the Gilead Sciences stock has been moving up and down with regards to how the market has been reacting to it. Everyone's looking for treatment, right? Everybody's looking for how to recover from it. And so yesterday, the CEO, Daniel O'Day, wrote an open letter to the public, essentially saying that, hey, we finally settled on a price for remdesivir. And, we're going to, you have to now, again, this discussion is actually geared towards their stock price, right? So it's a capitalist angle, but there's a pandemic out there, right? So as a firm, as a CEO, you have to balance your social responsibility with making sure you can get your drug available to everyone to use, and also balance that with the fact that, hey, you have shareholders, and you need to make profits. So some important things to remember first before I begin any of this is that remdesivir has not been approved by the FDA. That's the Food and Drug Administration in the US, which is the regulatory, but they're kind of like the US equivalent of NAFDAC. Um, they essentially have not provided any approvals. What they gave them was something called an EUA, Emergency Use Administration, which was supposed to be provided based on the fact that people were dying at high rates, and they were like, okay, look, let's just give you emergency approval in order to administer this antiviral drug. So that has to be kept in mind. It has not been officially approved yet. But essentially, they said, okay, look, normal administration of this drug, it's in vials, VIAL. For you medical folks out there, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Vials, I guess, are, capsules or caplets of the, antiviral drug that are administered to patients. So essentially, over a 5-day period, they usually, on average, apply 6 vials. And what they're saying is that, okay, they've arrived at a price for developed. Now they divided this into developed economies and developing economies. They said for developed economies, they're going to price it at $390 per vial. So and then for U.S. private insurance companies, so that's for government. Sorry, developed nations, for governments, $390. Now for private insurance companies, $520. per vial. So the estimated cost is anywhere times 5 days, over administering it 6 times over 5 days. You're looking at anywhere from $2,340 to $3,120. In Naira terms, and again, pick your exchange rate, right? I used 388, which is where they've said the INE window has settled at. You're looking at anywhere from 907,000 to 1.2 million for administration over a week. Now, importantly, for developed economies, in the letter that he wrote, he did say that in the developing world, where healthcare resources, infrastructure, and economics are so different, we have entered into agreements with generic manufacturers to deliver treatment at a substantially lower cost. These alternative solutions are designed to ensure that all countries in the world can provide access to treatment. He did not put a number to what that quote substantially lower cost would be. Maybe it's because they're just, we're looking at developed economies, India, even China, Africa, Nigeria, so on, other countries. Probably wasn't wise for him to put a number to it. So I guess what they do is they'll negotiate with the generic manufacturers, and they will now produce it, mass produce it, and sell it across different emerging economies. So now there's a price. So now we now switch to the investor side, because the stock, they've been talking about the stock now for a while. And we're a business show, right? So we're here to talk about making money. It's a pandemic, I know, but a while back, early in March, we were talking about Chinese companies that made Hamzat suits, and what are the other firms? I mean, different stocks of different in the medical field, pharmaceuticals, biotech. They were spiking based on which company they thought was going to be able to make what, based on suits, based on antiviral drugs, based on vaccines, so on and so forth. So I don't think we should be excluded from that conversation. If you have access to an app that allows you to purchase US dollar securities, why not look at this? Because there's a potential here. If this thing works out, yeah, you could, if you were to buy the stock, and if you're a long-term investor, you might see some significant profit. So again, let me repeat this though. Number one, remdesivir, which is the antiviral drug made by Gilead Sciences, has not been approved by the FDA, the US Food and Drug Administration. That is incredibly important to state, and you have to have that in your mind if you are looking at investing in biotechnology stocks. Have biotech stocks for companies that make drugs for treatment, cancer drugs, virus, whatever it is. Have they received approval from the FDA? When you hear a stock has received approval, the stock flies, right? So here you are. If you're looking at this stock, you're saying, okay, now you're making a bet. Based on they have a price now. I understand the federal US government ordered, I can't remember which department, I think it's Department of Health Sciences or something, ordered like 500,000 vials or something, based on when the price was finally announced. So there may be a path to approval, but then there may not be. Something might come up. So you got to put that in your mind if you are looking to purchase, to get the stock of this particular thing. Now, the stock closed yesterday at $74.56. In naira terms, again, pick your exchange rate, but using 388, that's 28,000 naira a share. That's pretty expensive. The most expensive stock on our exchange, I think, is Nestle. Nestle is going for like, I think, 1,000 naira or so. I have to check. I have to make sure about how much Nestle is going for. But that just shows you the gulf, and shows you why FPIs love investing in emerging markets, because when you look at the differential using exchange rates. Okay, Nestle is actually, 1,200 naira. Nestle closed up 4% yesterday on the Nigerian Stock Exchange at 1,200. So again, like I said, that's the most expensive stock that we have on our exchange. So again, at 28,000 naira a share. Now with the fintech companies that I spoke with, you can actually buy fractional shares, so you don't have to buy an entire share. You can buy it in bits and pieces, right? So okay, Dami here, does this mean B is now for 30, no, 30 minutes. Damn me, what mess? No, no, no. 6:30 to 6:45. That's starting tomorrow, starting on the 1st of July. We're starting from 6:30 to 6:45. Sadly, we're going back to 15 minutes. I tried. I'm tired. Let me just get back to what I'm doing here. Well, yeah, damn me. So we're not at 30 minutes. That would be, we'd throw a party if the show was 30 minutes. But the stock closed at $74.56. This is Gilead Sciences, the company that makes remdesivir. Year to date, it's up by 14.5%. So far this year, the stock is up based on the excitement over the drug. Now, the key thing here is when you're looking at purchasing, we've said this several times with a number of analysts that have been on here. When you're looking at purchasing a stock, you're looking at not only capital appreciation, you're looking at the dividend yield. The stock has averaged a dividend yield of 3.5% since 2015. So if you look at a scenario here where if you were to take the year-to-date appreciation of 14%, if that holds for the entire year, and you take the dividend yield, if they do another 3.5% dividend yield this year, that's 14% plus 3.5, that's 17.5% return on the stock, and this is in dollars, right? Not in naira. So there's a real potential here for appreciation. But again, there are factors you have to look at. And I've looked at some average of some analyst ratings for the stock. Out of 30, 17 said hold, 10 said buy, 3 said sell. Now, one of the reasons why is the research and development costs. In the biotech field, the amount of money that these companies spend researching whether or not these drugs will work, when they think about trials, paying their scientists, the equipment, it is mind-boggling. Like for remdesivir alone, the company said they might spend, in the open letter that Daniel O'Day, the CEO, wrote, he said they might spend about $1 billion in 2020 just on this drug alone. It's so you have to now think of, well, what if you spend all that money and the drug ends up not being approved? That's just that one. The money has gone, right? Your research R&D costs are a sunk cost, exactly. Right? So it's something that you have to, and then it also affects their cash flow as well.
Which is why not every company goes into that.
Exactly.
The big players that are,
and so between the research and development costs and also the concerns over approval, those are two big reasons for concern when playing in this field. But if you're a long-term person and you say, okay, you'll hedge your bets and you think that this thing is going to get approved over time, then you head in. But I don't know. I felt I had to share that because there was a lot of talk over it, and it was a lot of big news with regards to the price and what it means. By the way, they also said that based on the amount of time that they are saving, based on the increased recovery rates, the 4 days that they save on a faster recovery, if you multiply that by the cost of hospital admissions in the US, they're saying it's about $12,000 savings based on an average cost of $3,000 a day. Healthcare in America is just wickedly expensive, based on the healthcare discussions they've been having. So they're also, by the way, making, like I said, HIV antivirals. They're also trying to get cures for or treatment for lymphoma and arthritis. So they've got other drugs that are in production, not just this remdesivir. So Gilead Sciences, I think Moderna is another one. We're going to be talking about all these as the COVID-19 pandemic moves on. We're living in a time of discovery. Years from now, when those of us have kids, we go back and say there was a time when there was this pandemic and we were there when they were looking for viruses, vaccines and treatment and so on and so forth. So approach with caution. But the thing is, just to reiterate the fintech discussion, is that you do have the opportunity to invest in some of these areas, and biotech is a place to look at. But however, I emphasize, one, we of course talk to a financial advisor. Two, the research and development costs are a big check on cash flow for these companies. You want to make sure they're paying dividends, and also we do not know if they will get approval. Again, this is just once again EMU or EUA, what is it? Emergency EUA, Emergency Use Administration. So that's all. That's where we are with this particular item. But
did you hear about the new virus that's discovered in China?
No, I don't really follow China.
Yeah,
so that one, they've been different in the Europe, in China, in around the world there's a big race for the vaccine. It's like the race to the moon when the Russians and the Americans and who else was trying to get to the moon first. So it's a big race. I don't really follow Chinese stocks. I'm not really sure what's going on. But I think one of the fintech firms that I talked to, they do have an access to
And
buying there.
also, India has banned TikTok and banned
Yeah,
some
yeah,
other.
that was the whole disrupt
India-China
disputes
border
with yeah,
dispute.
border
Yes.
dispute.
Hmm.
Okay, so to Nigeria though, real quick, the Corporate Affairs Commission says that if you register for a business, you no longer have to go to the FIRS in order to get a TIN number. They're saying now they've sent out a little, it's on their websites, saying that from now on, if you go and register your business, you'll get a TIN number automatically. So it's part of their ease of
That's
doing
not bad.
business. Yeah, ease of doing business push. Of course, it's good. That way you don't have to. You save more time now. You're not having to register a business, and then not have to wait before you get your TIN number, and so on and so forth. Now it saves time, but with regards to what is it now? With regards to power, with regards to taxes, we know the usual issues with ease of doing business in the country. So that's something that's still there. But it's a good development with regards to, I guess, saving time when it comes to registering for a business. And then I
I'm
guess
just
the
curious to
yeah.
find out if that affects costs, like the
Yeah, no,
money
so
they
you won't
usually
have to
pay for.
pay,
Is it
right? The idea is that you won't have to,
pay 14?
pay for that. It's now lumped together. And then I know the President Buhari has made an approval for I think phase 2 of ease of the lockdown has been extended
Yeah,
by
4 months.
4 weeks or so.
Mm.
But I know that with schools, he's limited the schools that can resume to the ones final year students taking exams, right?
Yeah,
So primary 6, JS3, and
SS3.
SS3. I think that's a smart move for them to prepare for their exams. As for the rest of
It's the
folks.
same way they relaxed the lockdown the first or second phase where they asked only essential workers to come out.
Right,
Yeah, so
exactly,
that
exactly.
that makes sense.
So
Only essential students.
yeah, exactly.
All right,
Um,
MI sent in a message here on WhatsApp 0809 He said the REM drug is said to be more effective for COVID patients until that exhibits critical symptoms. Rotus, I have always said that the race for corona vaccine isn't just a medical race, but also an economic and political race event. Brutus, the world has crossed the 10 million mark, and it's not a question of how bad you want it.
mm.
In the words of Thanos, $500 is a small price to pay for salvation.
Nice Avengers reference there.
Oban says, hey guys, do you know anything about the international flights now that they've opened the airways? It's
Yeah,
only open for local flights
yeah, exactly. So no international flights
and
yet.
interstate travel. Wenger says, can we have a figure to the amount lost due to the interstate lockdown? The only economic actors that benefited from the ban were security agencies who extorted money from vehicles.
Facts.
Let's not deceive ourselves. There was no interstate ban. There was movement all through.
Facts.
But to be fair,
Facts.
they didn't ban those who are transporting agricultural
For a
produce.
bunch of people.
Nigeria
Madness. Benga, you're spot on.
Ah, jeez. Bring also adds $390 per vial is expensive,
Yep.
even in the US. And Trump wants to abolish Obamacare.
Solid points. Solid point, Benga.
Dyer says there's another competitor to Gilead in the UK whose COVID 19 steroids is proven to be more effective, even in worse cases, than the REM drug. And
Yes.
it's closer to WHO approval than REM. Also far cheaper at $27 or
Yes,
so.
Dexo something. Thank you. That's correct. Thank you. I heard
These guys.
Dexosamethine or something. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Scientists are cashing
I
out.
see our listeners. They are sharp
I'm
guys.
telling
They
you,
follow
Yinka
everything.
says, so to cure coronavirus is more than our minimum wage. Who spends $1 billion and not get approval? See, last, the best immune system.
Yinka is for herd immunity. Oh, guys, thank you for your messages. I appreciate. So look, we'll keep monitoring the situation and seeing how things go. So why is it
In closing, he said, wait, why is it this coronavirus thing is like the last episode of
Exactly.
Avengers? They're standing somewhere.
Exactly. Guys, remember from tomorrow, July 1st, the show starts at 6:30. So please tell your friends, family, perfect strangers. We start from 6:30 and ending at 6:45. So
That's
sadly,
from tomorrow. That's true.
yeah, back to 15 minutes.
Bro,
I
it
tried. I did the best I could. We
Legit
just
feels
managed.
like Christmas, yeah?
Which Christmas?
No changes.
One more. Somebody damn me sent a message saying, "Are we back on 30 minutes?" I said, I wish. I wish, but yeah. So please, tomorrow we start at 6:30 going forward. Business Success starts at 6:30 a.m. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Guess what? Your wish is my command. I'm gonna just flick a finger like this, like Thanos.
Yeah, and then we just change everything.
Remember, in 30 minutes, we'll go into detailed analysis of our newspaper stories today inside of Freshly Pressed 91. Stay with us.
Thank you, sir.
Benga says, 6:30, we got you.
6:45 a.m.